ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. This is the second video describing Ondre, Ellam Ondre, All is One, a book highly liked and recommended by Bhagwan Sri Ramana Maharshi to all the devotees. So this book describes that everything in this universe is connected with Brahma. Everything is produced by Brahma, and Brahma is one, God is one. So this is the theme of this book, that everything belongs to Brahma and Brahma is one. God is one. So we are all connected with God. So chapter number 4, peace. First, what is peace? Although the world persists when a man is in deep sleep, does he have any cares concerning it? His mind is tranquil and refreshed. Should his mind be in the same degree calm and refreshed even when he is face to face with the world and is active therein, then there is peace. Number 2. Can the mind remain so even when the world confronts us? It depends upon our estimate of the world. The mind is more excited when one's own property is plundered than when another's property is similarly plundered. Of one's own things, the loss of one thing causes greater concern than those of another. Why? Because our estimate of the things is the cause of the degree of the delight or anxiety concerning them. Therefore, should one learn to regard all equally, the mind will be extremely peaceful. Or should all things be considered as our own and highly prized, then too there is no cause for pain. Why? What will a man regret? The mind which knows that universal concern is beyond its capacity must needs become tranquil. Also, when one feels that one has no claim on anything or that everything is perishable, the mind will remain cool. Thus, there will be lasting peace if one looks on all as of the same value. Peace is dependent upon one's intellectual appraisals. And 3. I shall now illustrate this. A man wakes up from a dream. His mind is happy or troubled according to his opinion of the things seen in the dream. But on waking, his mind remains unaffected by all the happenings in the dream. It remains the same. Why? Because only now his mind has learned to value all the matters of the dream equally. He is not sorry for the cessation of the dream. Why? He is convinced that the dream is not everlasting and must end on waking. In the same manner, should a man be convinced that he cannot but wake up sometime from the long dream of the world, his mind will be unchanging. It is the state of freshness. This is the state of peace. This is not to say that his relation with the world will cease. Now only peace and freshness of the mind are his. His actions cannot but vary according to circumstances. The only change in him after the mind has become peaceful is this. His mind has known the truth and become unattached. Therefore, it rests in peace. His actions, though changeful, will always be impartial. But the actions of others are changing and cannot be impartial. Thus, the coolness of the mind produces enormous good not only to himself but also to the world at large. Peace shows the way to right conduct. Fifth, a man walks with a lighted lamp in his hand. Can there be any hostility between the light and the ups and downs on the way? There cannot be. But light and darkness cannot be together. The light chases away darkness, it discloses the ups and downs on the way and makes the man walk carefully, whether he moves up, down, or sideways. It removes the cause of vain complaints such as that snag hurt my foot or this hollow made me slip. Similarly, after peace is gained, the state of peace makes the man neither hate nor antagonize the world. Rather, it dispels the darkness which conceals from our view the true nature of the world and its snags. In the absence of the light of peace, which enables people to adjust themselves to varying circumstances, they condemn the world as full of misery, as they would complain of the snags on the road. Therefore, a man who has gained the utmost peace after knowing the whole world as a complicated dream should not be considered either uh, unrelated to the world or unconcerned with its activities. He alone stands in effective concord with it. Only he is competent to be man of action. Thus, peace is that which regulates one's duties. Sixth point. The concern of a man of peace in the actions of the world lies in rectifying them. Should he feel fear before this world, what hope of reformation can there be, especially from those who estimate it and want to possess it? They are in the grip of selfishness, blind to impartiality. To guide the blind on the way or treat the blindness of the eye, one's eyesight must itself be good. Similarly, it is for him to reform the world who has already discerned his unchanging nature from the changeful nature of the world and become peaceful. These cannot help serving the world. Why? Can anyone be so hearted as not to lift up a child when it slips and falls? So also for the wise ones who can rightly apprise the troubles of the world and help the people, because he has already withdrawn himself from the mind and body, the sage feels no concern under the strain of service to the world. Just as the life principle does not suffer even when loaded carts pass over the corpse it has left behind by itself. He will not shrink from work or trouble. Only truly realized peace can bestow such grace and coolness. Seventh, to all appearances, peace will look poor and quite weak, but in effect, it beats all. In tenacity and craze, it surpasses all. After all, such success depends on these qualities. Even if Mount Meru should topple over the incident with hardly induce a gentle smile in the man of peace, or it will leave him unmoved. This state is helpful both for worldly and spiritual matters. True happiness in the world is his, and that happiness comes out of release from bondage. Peace means doing good to anyone in any manner. Point number 8. The obstacles to peace are several. They are meant to prove the man. When they confront us, we should be wide awake and keep the delicate flower of the mind distant from even their shadow. If the flower of the mind be crushed, it will lose its fragrance. freshness, and color. It will neither be useful to you, nor can it be presented to others, nor offered to God. Know that your mind is more delicate than even a blossom. By means of a peaceful mind, all your duties to yourself, to others, and to God must be discharged. Let it release the same freshness throughout. All blessings for the mind are contained in peace. Point number 8. Unremittingly worship the God of yourself with the flower of your mind. Let the children of the mental modes watch this worship. Gradually, they will learn to cast away their childish pranks and desire to delight like yourself. As they watch your peace, they will themselves recoil from their vagaries. Continue the worship patiently. Be not led away by the vagaries of the mind. On the contrary, they should become peaceful by your peace. All must get peace. Point number 10. I shall finish in one word. The essence of all the Vedas is peace. Chapter number 5. Action. First point. All action is God's. His power has fixed each thing into its own individual function. By his agency, the insentient objects and the sentient beings do their work. All actions are his. Point number 2. All are doing their respective work. So what has God to do with it? We will first consider the sentient beings and later on the insentient objects. We are sentient beings. Let us first see whose actions are ours. We all desire a higher state and work for it. But our achievements are not uniform. Sometimes the goal is the same and so is the work. But why there a difference in the results? Here God makes us understand that the action is His. Otherwise, all must be alike. The difference in the conditions cannot be accounted for. Can there be anyone who does not wish to improve his position? Whatever their intention towards others, their intention towards themselves is surely honest. The conditions of people of the same intention are yet different. This is because all actions are of God. Point number 3. All beings have the same intention, yet their efforts are of different degrees, so also their states. After saying this, the question arises, what is effort? Is it not simply a mental image? All these images have the same origin, namely the common intention of all. Why then should the image of effort differ in each? Here too God makes us see that all actions are His. Point number 4. If it is said that, notwithstanding the same intention, the effort can vary according to individual capacity, the question arises, what is the source of this capacity? It is of the body and mind. The environment may also affect it. One must take account of all the factors before one makes an effort. However, these factors are not under one's control, so that the effort may not be equal to the task. Therefore, all actions are God's. 5. Again, if it is said that the body, the mind, and the environment will gradually be made equal to the task, it implies a present incapacity. This is to admit that all actions are God's. Point number 6. Now, it is for good or bad that people do not gain their objectives. It is certainly good. Why? Most of them are selfish. Judge for yourself if their success is for the good of the world or otherwise. You may ask, should not the attempts of the unselfish be entirely successful? Though to all appearances they may look unselfish, yet they are not free from blemishes. This depends on the ego. If the imagined unselfishness, unselfishness has given rise to a sense of superiority over others, God frustrates their purpose and teaches them that you are also like others and I govern you. On the other hand, free from selfishness and free from ego is the representative of God, within whom the cloud of ego that conceals God does not exist and from whom God is ever shining forth. To such a one of true purpose, Sattva Sankalpa, all his intentions come out true. God shines forth directly in him. There is no darkness in him, only he knows the divine purpose as it is. Through him, God fulfills the purpose of his creation. All actions are God's. Point number 7. If it is asked, is there not a single person of true intent? And why should not the world have all blessings in full? The answer, which is a secret, is that the sages who are aware that all actions are God's wish to make it known to others as well. There is no greater good than to know that all actions are God's and not our own. This knowledge contains all the blessings in itself. Therefore, the intention of the sages is to clearly instruct others in the knowledge of God and His actions. Even so, they do not say, know God this very instant, but they teach the ways and means to knowledge and encourage us in right conduct. This much only. They do not say, be emancipated at once. Why? Because this is not possible for the common people, nor do the sages say to God. Liberate the people at once, because the sages are free from the ego and think God knows what he should do and when to do it. What is there for me to say to him? Thus they wish only to do their work without any interest in the fruits this work may produce. They have known that God alone dispenses the fruits of actions. Simply, they watch the course of events in the world and do their work, never thinking of creating a world of their own. Why? To do so is a form of egoism. The creation is as it should be. Everything is in order. All actions are God's. Point number 8. Knowing their actions are subservient to the higher power, how could they hope to achieve something dear to their hearts? No, they cannot. They will do their work simply as a duty. The scriptures say, do work but do not think of its fruits. Just as anger unconsciously overpowers a man even though he is determined not to get angry, so also the sages of true intent, Sattva Sankalpa, may be shocked by the iniquities of the world and unwittingly think, God, let that be made good. If so, then it will certainly happen and good will prevail. This is the cause of some extraordinary events in the world. These extraordinary events are the results of a wish stealing into the mind of a sage. This is the law of nature. Who can change it? All actions are God's. Number 9. Whatever takes place, it is in the natural order of things. Also, it is right. Everything happens by His will alone. In truth, it is not wrong to think He makes the thief steal. Why? Because at the time of punishment, He also makes the thief suffer for the robbery. Thus, there should be no ill will directed towards the thief. Such is the fruit of the knowledge that all actions are God's. Although there is no ill will towards the thief, there is a dislike of theft. This is also the result of knowledge, our knowledge, that all actions are God's. How is this? Because the thief himself dislikes theft. Would he keep quiet if his own belongings were stolen by another? He would not. Who can be unaware that good is right and evil is wrong? Therefore, the knowledge that all actions are God's will bring into the world an era of orderly conduct. Our knowledge does not extend further. We can repeat only what we know. We need not worry about what lies beyond our knowledge. This too is God's will. Point number 10. One of the fruits of knowledge granted to us by God is the knowledge that all actions are God's. We are powerless to ask God, why do you act thus? Because the fruits of our actions are not always according to our desire. All religions admit similar states of our powerlessness. In other words, because our powers are limited, we cannot by but say that all actions are God's. The law which applies to us applies to insentient objects also. Our law is no better than theirs. All is one, even though some do not admit that all actions are God's. Yet they admit their own incapacity. This itself is the act of God. Next, chapter 6. Ego. First point. Oh, ego. All the evils of the world are from you, to crush you. The kings make laws and the wise give lessons in spite of their efforts from time immemorial. Alas, you are yet alive. You simply go into hiding and reappear again and again. Can there be no end to you? Yeah, it is surely approaching. Another ego has started to kill you. It is the universal ego called I am Brahma. Point number 2. Eh, ego. Think not that your enemy is of your kind. You are perishable, whereas he is not. You are conceited as I because you always differentiate as I. You and he, but your enemy is free from this conceit. How? He harmonizes all differences, resolves all into himself. Moreover, you feel enmity towards him because he has arisen to kill you, but he has no ill feelings towards you. How is this? Because you are not to be found in his presence. He regards you as a part of his limbs. Your loss in his proximity is the working of your own falsity. He would not think of killing you because you are of no consequence in his sight. Therefore, ego, you are his enemy, but he is not yours. More briefly put, you are your own enemy. Why? Owing to your greed, you flaunted yourself before the Great One as you would elsewhere. Instantly you were lost. Therefore, the universal self obscures you by devouring you and then shines forth as all light. See, here, this comparison is made ego and he. Ego, that is, he is here Atma. See, it is said that ego is his enemy, But he is not your enemy because ego is non-existent. It is temporary phenomena. But he is ever present. He is forever. He never perishes. So for him, ego is no match. Ego doesn't have any power like Atma. So Atma is not the enemy of ego, but ego is the enemy of Atma. Because this ego is veiling the Atma. This ego is always trying to hide Atma. This is what we have to, for realization of Atma, for Atam Sakshatkara, we have to destroy this ego. We have to destroy our mind until unless this ego and mind these are destroyed, self realization is not at all possible. In this world, in all the day to day activities we are carrying out with the help of mind and ego, our Atma is just simply a witness. It has no say. It provides power to ego and mind, but it does not participate actively in any process because Atma is just a witness. Remember this. That's a very important point. And this ego is the cause of birth and death. The birth and death cycle is continuing for us due to ego. If the ego and mind they are destroyed, what remains? Only Atma. So we are self-realized, we are liberated. If we remove this ignorance that we are a real self and we are not this ego, we are not this body, we are not this mind, then we are very near to self realization and thereby we can be liberated easily. But we have to remove this ignorance that we are, we we will stop identifying with the body, then we are going for self realization. Until unless we destroy ego, destroy our mind, and stop identification with the body. So, after stopping the self identifying with the body and ego and mind, they are to be destroyed. Then we are going for self-realization, liberation, Atam Sakshatkar, Brahma Sakshatkar. So this is the simple thing. Ah, ego, the evils of your works have no limits. You are not content unless you are exalted above others and others are lowered before you. Endless are your desires, such as by what title shall I gain honor? In what form shall I appear elegant? Do others bow to me? Do others obey me in silence? Do others say that no one excels me? Alas, how short is your life, and yet to how much do you aspire, and how much evil you do? You have deluded yourself that there is happiness in such ideas and in differentiating yourself from all others. This is not to your good. Why not? Are not others also entitled to all this? What is your share in the in things which are common to millions and millions of others? Such being the case, do not desire in vain to rule over all. By your vain desire, you bring about evil to yourself and to others. Listen to my friendly advice. Truly speaking, he whom you regard as your mortal enemy is your friend. He knows how to make you worthy of true greatness and blessings. Surrender to him. This universal ego does not treat you as an enemy but is your greatest benefactor. Wonderful. Point number 4. By no means can you discover what he will make of you unless you surrender yourself to him. However much I may speak of it, you cannot understand. It is a matter of experience. Doubtless, he will do nothing less than exalt you to his state. Therefore, be not perplexed about your future. Directly surrender yourself. You can always turn away if joy does not overtake you from the very instant of surrender. Just as the drinking of milk starts with an agreeable taste and ends with the satisfaction of hunger, so also surrender starts with delight and ends with perfect bliss, which lies beyond even pleasure and pain. Therefore, your goal, without doubt, is this universal ego, I am Brahma. See, Maharshi used to say there are two ways for self realization. One is the self enquiry, and the other is the surrender. But people, you know, they simply misunderstand this. They are confused. They are ignorant actually what is surrender. As far as common people are concerned, for them, the surrender is surrendering themselves to some physical person, surrendering to a guru, surrendering to another person whom they consider some sort of a spiritual, higher spiritual powers he has got. So, most probably, their surrender is always to the guru, physical guru. But as per Maharshi, surrender is the ego surrenders to the soul. This is the actual surrender. Surrendering, the ego surrenders to the self. This is the actual surrender. And this is effective and this is the more real surrender. Point number 5. What will be your new name after surrender? See how ego is produced, how ego originates. The rising thoughts from the soul and their continuity give rise to the mind. And ego is the modification of this mind. So, what is the source of this ego? Atma. If it is directed back to the Atma, then it becomes Atma only. It is not separate from Atma, it is not different from Atma. When this ego is having the direction outward to the world, it is full of negative energy. The same ego, when directed towards the Atma, that time it is full of positive energy. It is going towards the divinity. It is near to divine power. So you have to understand this. In what is what will be your new name after surrender? There is no name besides yours. The Vedas loved you. The world praises you. The essence of religious teachings is yourself. Then what is your form? All forms are yours. There is no form which is not yours. What is installed in the temples of worship is you. What is described in the Vedas is you. Festivities and celebrations are all for you. Now, what can be your power? In your presence, the world is active. Each is what it is because of you. Briefly said, all things glorify you and bear witness to your being. They are duty bound to do so. You would not have even dreamed that this will be your state. Start at once. Be not self conceited. The universal ego awaits you. So, this message is for you, ego. Ego, go and surrender to the soul, your original source. So you will be Atma, you will be Brahma. So this is the simple meaning. Number 6. Do you wish to wake up from your dream or continue in it? How long will the dream images last? Be not idle. Sick of your sleep, wake up. You are witnessing your own mental images and imagining more and more. It is all in vain. Just find out who it is that sees the visions. Do not delude yourself that you are these that rise and sink in you. Wake up. The instant you wake up, you will know that waking is better than this dream. Get up. The universal ego waits to rejoice at seeing you awake. What is the meaning of this? That when you are going towards the spiritual heart and merges with this Atma, so you are Atma. You don't have any independent existence. Number 7. Fear not the cessation of the present ego dream. Once you are awake, you will enjoy the same all the more. You will no longer be deluded and will observe it with cheerful detachment, unconfused. The folly of all appearances will be understood and you will have no burdens. In dream, your mental imagery assumes shapes. On waking, you know the dream as just a dream. Do not mistake dream for the waking state. Know the dream as a dream. For doing so, you must reach the state of I am Brahma, universal ego, and wake from the illusion of the ego. Point number 8. I have instructed you for your good and not in my own interest. If you believe me, you should act upon what I have taught you. On the other hand, if you see no good in what I have said, then turn away from this ideal. How can I help you if my advice and all the advice of the saints do not make any impression on you? No state is higher than this. Believe me, it is for your good that you realize this truth, and through you others may realize the same. Be from self conceit, start at once, realize that the universal ego is your own. Who says to whom? Atma says to ego that come and merge in me. I am waiting. What a wonderful number nine. O ego, see how you are a slave to all and therefore suffer. How pitiable is your state! All are hostile to you. When you say, for me only, all others will also contend. For me only, for me only. When you say, I am great, they protest why we are also great. All are hostile to you. Owing to the troubles caused by others, your mental images increase a millionfold. Should you not rise above them and profit by surrendering to a master? Then all your enemies will befriend you if you say to others, all these are yours, everyone becomes your friend. There is only one who can make you that magnanimous, and that is I am Brahma, universal ego. Brahma and Atma same. Remember this also. Number 10. I shall say one word only, and this is not owing to my egoism, it is simply my duty. I do not say this word just for your own, my good alone. It is for the good of all. The truth is, I am Brahma, universal ego. Wonderful description. So, my dear friends, this surrender is ego moves deeper and deeper inwardly to the spiritual heart, merges with the Atma. This is the surrender, not surrendering to some physical body. There are, people, they become victim of this, ignorance. Simple, simple things are, you know, they people try to understand them in a very, very different way. Very simple thing, but they want to make it complex. So they confuse themselves. So, dear friends, here ends the complete message of Ellam, Ondre, all is one. So, thank you for watching this video. Please like, comment and share the video and subscribe my channel. Thank you, my dear friends. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Thank you so much.